Peace be with you, brothers and sisters. Today is Pentecost Sunday. Happy Pentecost. Before I start my reflection today, I want to do a kind of resume. Since March 19th, we have been presenting each day a different priest in our archdiocese to give some spiritual reflections about the season or some spiritual meditation on a theme that they like. And we've been doing this since March 19th, the last 2 months. And we're going to take a slight break now. I want to thank you, the audience, the listeners, for your coming to see this, to listen to it every day. And we'd like to hear from you if you think we should continue this. I certainly want to thank all the priests who've been in on this, probably 60 or 70 of them anyway, and to thank them for their words of reflection. And we can group together again and start, but we want to hear what you might think of this. So in any case, thank you, priests who've done this work in labor, and thank you, all of you, the people of God, who've been listening during these days of pandemic, in a kind of being forced at home many days, and listening to some spiritual thoughts. Pentecost, fire, wind, and water. Most of us know part of the story of Pentecost Sunday. The disciples and the apostles, along with the Virgin Mary, have been in the upper room for a 10-day novena. And suddenly, of course, how else could the Holy Spirit come? But suddenly there's this loud wind, violent force of wind, and then tongues of fire settling above the heads of each of the apostles. What about wind? Why that? Our emeritus Pope, Pope Benedict XVI, once said that the wind that came at Pentecost Sunday was the first Clean Air Act declared by God himself. That is, it cleaned out the polluted air of sin, and it allowed a fresh environment for speech and breathing in the air of God. I like that imagery. And what about the fire? Well, fire certainly cleanses, but also illuminates. And we know that day, everyone understood what the apostles were saying, no matter what language they spoke, because God speaks in all languages the miracles and works of the Holy Spirit in our midst. Those two beautiful images also have another image that is around at Pentecost, and that is a flowing river. To that we go to the book of Revelation and the very last chapter, where from the throne of God and the Lamb, a river of life is flowing that gives nurture and refreshment wherever it goes. Yes, the Holy Spirit is the Spirit of the Father. He's the Spirit of the risen Son. In fact, in the Acts of the Apostles, they call the Spirit of Jesus, the risen Jesus. The river of life is a beautiful imagery of refreshment, particularly, friends, in these days of pandemic. Perhaps we're a little weary. Perhaps in our conscious lives, we are over-preoccupied. The sudden work of the Holy Spirit is to help us breathe, to help us be illuminated, and to help us be refreshed, so that we can do what? One major Christian theme: announce Jesus as risen Lord and spread it as joy everywhere. And if the Spirit takes hold of us, it doesn't matter what our particular mood is. The Spirit's mood is always joy. So, sisters and brothers, on this beautiful Pentecost day, may the fire and wind of the Spirit be with you, and may the grace of his flowing river of life go through you and through all your beloved friends, family, and may he make all of us nurtured, well, and alive as the church. It's happy birthday, and it's happy Pentecost. God bless you.